Hello everyone. I hope last video was pretty good. Not sure how it went. Tried some new stuff, like a new window capture. I don't know how you know what that is, but it's like different from screen recording, from what I know. It just captures the window, and it should make resolution better. I'm not sure how it was before, but I think it was terrible. Sorry. Work in progress as still. But hi, how's everyone doing today? I hope it's been going pretty well, as everyone's day should be. Oh, wow, window capture is actually better than I thought. I did not know that. Should I make this louder? Alright, hold on, let me check. I'll change it if things get a little bit loud or intense. So hi, okay, hello. That should be good. I guess we should get on with the video then? I'll see you there. Oh, okay. I remember what we were doing. So what happened last time, we were with Coda, and we couldn't be with him because, or no, right now we can't be with him because, oh shit, that was a bit loud. Okay, we'll change that. Boom, 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 boom. That should be good. Okay. Close. Okay, sorry about that. Right now we shouldn't be able to hang out with Coda due to he wants a break because of his past, like bringing up past memories, I guess, or just needing a break for some reason, or because of us. We caused his mental state to be like this. I'm sorry, Coda. So today we have to hang out with either Asterion, Jumbo. I was gonna say Jumba. I don't know who Jumba is. Is it Menma? No, I forgot his name. Oh my god, it's right here. Themba. Okay. How's Asterion looking? He's looking alright. Talk to Robert. We can talk to Robert in the lounge, work on Asterian's project, which I don't really want to do. I wonder if you can hear that. My breathing. It's whatever. Manage assets. I think... But this doesn't do anything. It just managed assets, right? Oh wait, no. Doesn't it get us something? Yeah, more materials, right? Which we may need. Okay, I'm gonna work on this. Okay, I think that's just how it's gonna be. Eeny, meeny. I guess we can't do... Oh, we can actually do something with him. Alright, this doesn't really get us any progress, but I think I should do it. Just for a student's sake. Yeah, why not? Well, do I want to hang out with Asterion? He's so eepy. I don't really like him that much. It's whatever. We'll manage assets. Themba arrives at your office with a freshly brewed up coffee, sits at his desk, and gets to work. You engage in pleasant conversation with Themba throughout the day. At one point, you tried teaching the Grootling a few tricks to speed up his work. He laughs at your attempts. You assume I can't use a computer because I'm in my 80s. You're not the first to underestimate me, Lucian. I may not know a thing about programming, but trust me, there's a lot one can do with a little creativity and thorough knowledge of Excel. I'll use Excel. Okay. But at the end of the day, Themba has secured 6 raw materials. Oh wow. Let's check in on R&D team. Your current team can complete a project. Do you want to complete your research or continue working towards something else? Let's add a bar. We can do that after, right? Later in the day, your phone sings at the most angelic of arrays. Areas? Alright. At the most angelic of areas, as it delivers its world-changing message. It is done. Your crown jewel, the proof of both your might as a leader and the favor of the gods. The most complex architectural marvel this realm has ever seen. The poolside bar. This is it. With this feat of engineering, the hotel is complete. Now you are ready for whatever inspectors may come to evaluate your fine establishment's installations. But first, you must embark on the most arduous and grievous task of them all, testing it up to the utmost rigor. You cannot do it alone. A commander needs an army after all. And much like last time, every member of your staff is eager to join in, to ensure that the facilities are all working as intended, of course. After finishing up some paperwork in the office, you head out at last to the pool's area. There, you find a certain bovine companion of yours taking advantage of the temporary enclosure. Back and forth, Asterion swims, free from burden of holding himself back on the account of any others in the water. The musculature under his fur bunges and flexes, working to drive him forward with every reach of his arms or kick of his legs. Each breath gusts out his nose. Okay. You find a sun lounger nearby and sit down to watch him. At last, the Minotaur notices you and swims over to hang on the pool's edges as he speaks. Lucian, forgive me. I couldn't resist going for a brief swim. His ears flick as he labors to catch his heaving breath. You give him a smile. There's nothing to forgive, in fact. If I had thought of to bring my swimsuit, I might join you for a little while. Having fun? Yes, I am. I'm glad. Though it sounds like you could use some refreshment after that swim. You want to come dry off and head over to the bar? See how Koda's got everything set up? He nods and takes a more leisurely swim over to the steps out of the pool. You follow him along the edge, meeting him as he rises out of the water, and stand as he starts toweling off. This fur of mine. I apologize. This might take a while again. Might be a good idea to find a solution for that, especially if we start getting more mythical guests with lots of fur. But for now, maybe a breezy cotton shirt could help. Do you think so? Couldn't hurt, and what would be more appropriate for sipping drinks by the poolside? The Minotaur shifts from hoop to hoop, still scrubbing away at himself with his towel. Finally defeated, he turns to hang it over the back of the lounger and gives you a nod. If you say so, then I will trust your judgment on this matter. You close your eyes and hum a tune, already picturing the garment's pattern. The color, however, remains in question. Red or green? I don't know. I like green, but I don't think it would fit the theme. There is a theme. There is a theme. Or no, there might not be a theme, but like with Asterian's fur color, I don't think it would look well. At last, you decide upon a red Hawaiian shirt. You've always liked that color, and the vibrant hue will go well with the pool's lively atmosphere. It materializes in your hand, perfectly sized for Asterion, and ready for the Minotaur to wear. Here, try this on. Asterion dons the shirt, allowing it to hang open over his broad chest. He rubs the material between a thumb or a forefinger, and shifts his shoulders to feel how it brushes over his damp fur. You like it? Yes, it is very comfortable, and this pattern seems quite joyful and carefree. I have always liked flowers, though I must admit I am unfamiliar with this kind. They're a tropical species. You see them at the beach all the time. His larger finger traces over one of the petals, and a small smile blooms over his face. I see. They're quite beautiful. I am still not sure if putting something over my fur will truly accelerate my drying, but I do very much like it. Thank you, Lucian. Now, about those drinks. On the way over, you and Asterion pass by the kobolds. The trio are swaddled in their towels and resting in the warm sunlight. having apparently tuckered themselves out playing in the water. All three of them are enjoying a bright and colorful smoothie each, sorbing up the fruity treat through looping and swooping crazy straws. At your approach, they wave to you with chirps and murmurs of lazy content. After greeting the tiny group with nods and waves of your own, you continue on your pool bar proper. Okay. You find Themba sitting in the shade under her canopy. Koda, meanwhile, bustles about behind the counter. Luke sits at one of the nearby umbrella-shaded patio tables, once more dressed in only a Speedo and the smile on his face. He's drinking from an aluminum beer can, light naturally. Everyone present murmurs a greeting in your direction as you and Asterion take your seats at the bar. Lucian, Asterion, there you are. Yeah, I had to finish up some paperwork in the office before coming out, and Asterion needed to dry off a bit after a swim. But here we are, and we could both use quite a good refreshment. What's that you're having, Themba? Probably beer. Yeah. You look over to the line of emptied shot glasses in front of the Groot's line. Never mind. Koda and I were discussing drinks from our home countries. I told him about Springbockies, and he wanted to try his hand at making some. Cool. So, what will you have, Lucian? Strawberry, daiquiri, beer, Springbocky, smoothie, fruit juice. I don't know. Are these all alcoholic? I bet there is. Bet they are. Okay, probably not this one though. Maybe not this one, but maybe I'll try a Springbocki or a Boki. Baki, or very fruity. Yeah, why not? Well, it is pretty hot out here, and how about a strawberry daiquiri? Coming right up. Koda pours rum, lime juice, and sugar into a blender, then chops up a few strawberries from the fruit bowl on the counter to add to a mix. He blends it all up with a good amount of ice, and finally serves the result to you in a hurricane glass. Here you go, nice and fresh. And what about you, Asterion? I think it would be nice to try what Lucian's having. Koda is quick to make Asterion's drink, serving it up in no time flat. Koda, I should probably say this more often, but I'm glad you ended up being our first staff member. You're a perfect fit for a running bar. Thank you, Lucian. I certainly try to do it. And as I said before, once we get to staff together to run things out here, I wouldn't at all mind lending a hand from time to time. Okay, you've convinced me. I'll work it into your schedule, alright? Thank you. As you take another sip of your drink, Luke sidles up to lean on the counter next to you. Hey there, boys. Y'all having fun over here without me? Sorry about my voice. It's like very cold outside. And I should explain this at the beginning of the video, but someone on my volleyball team got a little sick. So I'm just doing the best I can. The Griffin's shoulder brushes up against yours. Asterion's eyes lock onto the point of contact. Wouldn't dream of it. Good. Then Bluey, how's about you grab me another beer and we really get the fun started? Luke, it's the middle of the day. Come on, boss man. Line up. Besides, you're one to talk. At least I'm having a light beer instead of... His eyes wander down to your drink. Then he lets out a quiet snort. Does that girly shit even taste good? It does, yes. Much better than light beer, that's for damn sure. Wow, Lucian, rip my heart right on my chest. Why don't you? Well then, don't knock my girly shit until you tried it. The Griffin opens a beak to retort, and then cracks it shut. You've tried it, right? Well, no. What better time then? Who knows? You might just like it. I doubt that, but sure. I'll try anything once. A straw bite. Daki. Dakiri. I don't know how to say it either. let me search it up. Dakiri. It looks Dakiri. Daki-kiri? Wow. I hope you didn't hear that. Okay, it's a cocktail. Never tried one myself. Classic cocktail with me with 3 simple ingredients: white rum, lime juice, and sugar, or simple syrup, shaken with ice and served straight up in a Cooper cocktail glass. It's a refreshing balance of sweet and tart, belonging to the sour family of drinks. While often associated with frozen, blended versions, the traditional daiquiri is served chilled without ice. Okay, I'm not gonna say how to make it because I don't know, but its origin is Cuba. Okay, Cuba. Let's see how to pronunciation. Oh, it's just daiquiri. Oh, I've been saying it. Okay, that's what they were having at the. Yeah. Why do they spell it like this? Like, what? I swear, I've never been to a bar. Actually, no, I lie. I've been to a few. Yeah, one of those, please, Bluey. Coming right up. You got a little bit of facts today, guys. Or not facts. Drink. Extra. Part, I guess. Coda turns away to hear Luke's requested drink. Almost as soon as he sets it down, the griffin grabs it up. Alright. Here goes nothing. He takes a long, slow, considering sip. That was a gulp. Huh, you know what? This is pretty damn good. See, I told you. Yeah, I guess so, you did it. Sorry for downing you, boss man. Catch you later. He saunters off to the back of his table, straw firmly in his beak all the while. You turn to the smiling dragon behind the bar. You made his version, right? I did, yes. Wow. You nod, taking another sip. Good man. When all is said and done, the bar is declared a rousing success by every member of your staff. Having had your fill for the fun for the day, all you spend the remainder of the afternoon finishing up your work. Oh, before we return to our tasks, should I change back to my old clothes? I don't know. Should he? Should he not? When will be the next time I could change him, though? Because I do like the shirt. Well, I like the shirt. I'll keep it. He's fine. Maybe not the pants, but he's fine. As you wish. Let's check on exploration. Nothing. Wow. Luke, you're slacking. Other than that, your exploration didn't seem to make any big discoveries. How are you resting on the job? Oh, what happened to our sad boy? Later in the afternoon, you find Asterion going over the letter again. Stop looking at that. He put it away as he approached. Afterward, however, his gaze would wander away from any task, no matter how small. His mind was elsewhere, perhaps swimming in the dark of a cold room in which he had been locked in. Just what could that old man want sending you and Asterion a letter? If only he had the grace to bow out and allow his memory to fade away from the Minotaur's mind. You asked Asterion to remain by your side. You manned the lazy reception together, which allowed you to keep his mind busy with chit-chat. When he talked about the world outside, his gaze would soften. If his breathing was somehow perturbed, all you had to do was hum, perhaps sing, and he would follow your lead. But there was only so much you could do. You asked him to go out with you for some fresh air, in hopes that it would help him clear out all the stale thoughts in which smothered him. You told him to take his time, but he would not. I was made to work and bear the yoke, he said. To which you responded with tender grace, if that's so, then would you be so kind as to tidy up the garden where Lord Hades' statue is? Your words were music to his ears. He wasted not a single minute and trotted out to his task, on which would hopefully bring him some measure of grace, of peace. Sorry. Some alone time, as much as he needed, even if he was unwilling to allow it for himself without proper excuse, would do him well. Oh, wait. And so you spent the rest of the afternoon alone in your office, looking over the previous master's documents and belongings. The drawers were filled with finely organized folders containing intricate records of all the guests the hotel had housed, going back to the early 20th century. And yet, the paperwork could not lie. Jean Mary's methodical record-keeping was replaced almost overnight by Clement's contemptuous carelessness. Lipstick marks on the same sheets where Styrian's scrawls detailed damage to rooms and facilities. The reports crossed over the thick black ink. Cigar burns on complaints from staff about unpaid wages, pleading for their superior to take the mere minutes required to fabricate the diamonds that they were promised. Spilled coffee and beer on a dozen or so check-in sheets of young women with fine, noble-sounding names. Why did I say noble? What the? He then found another ledger shoved down to the very bottom of a drawer, which detailed with the employment of every staff member from the 40s to centuries back. Every new worker and what they were owed, the detail of retirement, plans for how they would be cared for in their frailest of old age. Employees from 100 different countries: China, Mexico, Egypt, Brazil. And now, after spending hours sorting through your predecessor's mess, you get up from your chair and look out the window. The sky above a snaking mass of clouds, letting through only shy peaks of sunset orange above them, and the wretched valley below, stained with thousands of years of injustice, nevertheless provides a soothing breeze. Clement left a legacy, a paper trail of mismanagement, a consumed survivor, and generation of displaced people. At least Themba and his family had been able to contain the damage to an extent. Now that man who had made his crime seem like a youth's foolishness has the gall to make himself known once more. The timeless sky, the breeze untainted by the man-made smoke and soot, the comfort of your office, all together, they can do much to ease one's mind, but not enough to rid of you of the bile at the back of your tongue. You look down to the valley, a place both cursed and beautiful. How cruel are the gods to mix a drop of mercy with a sentence of eternal damnation. Far down, all the way down from the safety of your hotel, you see it squirming, a drop of the god's curse. Alive even today. It's Argos, doing something by the exit below. It has been a few days since he's last called you. It's about time he caused trouble once more. You lay your hand over your armband. This time, he can do no damage. Even if you wanted to command a steering out, not even your desire could cause the Minotaur pain now. But you know him well enough to realize that even Argos' flute is enough to cause distress, and so like a disgruntled neighbor, you make your way down the spiral staircase and out to the valley. He does not see or hear your approach. He's absorbed in his work, placing a few objects by the feet of one of the statues lining the hotel's exit. How sick it is that this being, whose mission is to torment Styrian, could not bring a fraction of harm a crazed, twisted human could achieve. Not even your grievous mistake of delivering the Minotaur to that torment could compare to Clement's. One must wonder how frightful Argos' sadism can be when the snake holds no power to bring his victim out himself. You touch the armband. Now, neither do you. Hello, Argos. Yeah, Master, how did you? I saw you from my office window. Seemed like you were trying to start trouble again, so I thought I should just come down and get it over with. Trouble indeed. I know all about it. But get it over with, sire. You have just only arrived. Why the hurry? I really don't have time or patience for your antics. The snake, the labyrinth's foreman. I'd rather you just tell me what you have to than I'll tell you what I think about it, and we can just go back to our lives. Oh my lord, what is it that ails your spirit? Has the Minotaur failed his duty somehow? Has a guest disrespected your hospitality? Not a word about Asterion. He's done nothing to cause any ill will, and our guests are being only joy. Don't imply such things again. I won't stand for it. I have overstepped, have I not? I regret my words and distress they have brought upon my lord. It is not my goal to desire to bring strife to you. You should be a life. You should be a life showered with the finest of pleasures, plentiful in milk and wine, like Elysium is said to be. You say that, but you've caused me nothing but strife, second only to what we've experienced recently. I received a very unpleasant letter from Clement a couple days ago, you know. It reminded Mysterion of everything that happened to him and previous guests. It's all fine now, but I'm still not in the mood to deal with you on top of all that. The snake's gaze drops to the ground as he readjusts his pelt. His shoulders droop. His tongue shoots out half a dozen times. His tail coils around itself. At last, he looks up to you, like a child at a teacher. While it is my duty to inflict distress and grief upon the hybrid bull, I am also meant to assist your affairs. Sire, with all the humility of my slithering servitude, which cannot hope to possess the greatness of the human mind, please allow me to interject. Are you sure this letter comes from Clement? Who else could it be? I don't know anyone else who'd do something like this. Could it be a prank? Mankind is supposed to be playful, yes? Maybe a reprobate has perchance set out to bring grief to your lordship. A reprobate like you, perchance. Me? Bring you grief? Perish the thought. For our most esteemed master, I wish only joy and glory. Gentler than rain, the snake lets out a sweet, playful hiss. Sure, whatever. So, Argos, why are you going to call me out here today? What are you planning this time? My moment to shine arrives indeed. I have yet another task for you and your followers. I've gathered a treasure trove of artifacts for you, my lord. You may possess them, their inscrutable knowledge. If you send the hybrid... No, thank you. Pardon? If your proposal hinges on sending Asterion out, I'll have to deny it, regardless of the reward. But sire, what have I here is truly fortuitous finding. It's an essential document which Clement threw down into the valley during his rage. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to send Asterion out. Asterion. Okay. Even if I wanted to, I'm forbidden from doing so. Forbidden? Why? You're the sovereign over this land and its laws. Just what could possibly prohibit you from doing as you please? Oh, many things. My staff, for starters. They've learned the truth of Asterion's past, and will revolt even if I think about mistreating him. Then my new workers. They are disposable as broken tools. You rub your temples and give him a glare. Argos shrinks back on himself. People aren't disposable. Forgive me, from your tone I assume a faux pas, as they say. But my point still stands. Being peer pressured by your staff doesn't mean you are prohibited. Maybe, but neither do I want to mistreat Asterion. And there's a third factor as well. You tap the lead armband. This. Oh? What a Okay. Oh, what a drab piece of jewelry This armband is part of a contract, Argos. It binds me from sending Asterion out here. What do you mean? That's impossible. You can't beard yourself from the Master's duty. The Labyrinth would never enable such a thing. We were creative, you see. If I send Asterion out, or allow anyone else to coerce him, then this band will amputate my arm. The snake's eyes pass over your armband, as if trying and failing to find anything noteworthy about it. Is it as though he cannot comprehend what you mean? In other words, if I send Asterion out, I will bleed to death. The contract is binding, and I cannot be revoked. I will never, ever be able to send him out. Chances are he'll never come down here ever again, for as long as I live, and believe me, I intend to make sure my successor upholds the same standard. This is the end of your mission, hopefully the end of it all for eternity. I'm putting a stop to the senseless torture for good. All at once, Argos crumbles. He sways and leans back, as though being swung around. The snake holds, and squeezing his head, until a knife of gray iron sinks into his breast, and severs the life thread in a pang of agony. He crumples like flowers undone, torn from their stalks, and cries like a boy mourning his father. No, by the 12, by bright-eyed Athena, by all-powerful Lord Zeus, this can't be. He lunges forward and grabs you in a hug. He corrupted you, tarnished your very flesh in his curse. You are tainted, my lord, dirty with his fetid contract. There must be a way to release you from these shackles, a loophole, an inconsistency. There's no turning back. This is how things will be from now on for good. So I said, forget the treasures. What are they good for if you can't? If I can't? By the 12, what a wretched contract. He lets out a chest-heaving, heart-rending sobs of a child. Perhaps this is what he deserves. The snake is meant to torture a prisoner. And yet, what harm has he brought compared to dozens, hundreds of masters before you, who held the power to stop all harm from coming to the Minotaur, and did not? This sorry beast is but a blip in the grand scheme that has brought Asterion so much suffering. Should we hug him? Should we let him go? Wait for him. We'll wait, because I do not like the snake. There is nothing to be said or done. Pushing the snake away would be far too callous, but it is hard to find kindness to comfort one such as him. So you allow him time, and when you grow impatient, you give him a few pats on the back. There. What a peculiar tapestry the gods have woven, is it not? Here lies the foreman, a wretched serpent whose none the less could never cause a fraction of the damage Clement had. Did the old man ever grieve like this? Ever feel grief like this? Can he fathom the days and nights Asterion spent locked in the cold room? And the gods, wherever they are, do they even remember the forsaken land and the lonesome prisoner they left behind? And Argos himself, do they think of him? He may be above Asterion, but he's still a cursed prisoner, surviving off bugs and rodents. But when you look at him, when he speaks to you, is he cognizant of the wretchedness of the fate he's assigned? He bears his duty like a badge of honor, when in truth it is a shackle of tight clasp as a Minotaur's. But he gives you one final squeeze, head still buried in your chest. He may not wish to let go, but there is no delaying the disentangling of limbs. You ought to not apologize for your actions. The contract, the armband, all of it is fair and just. And yet, after witnessing Argos' wailing, wouldn't it only be fitting to say you were sorry? No. One should never apologize to a torturer, however. So instead, you say your second best thing. It's unfortunate things have come to this, but it is what it is. I see. The snake holds a stash of trinkets he had been placing at the feet of the statues, then back to you. My intention was for you to send a Styrian deeper into the valley to retrieve another offering, but in truth, I meant to deliver the rewards to you regardless of the results. So go on, have it. Forget the task, just take it. It should belong to you regardless. An ochre-colored clay dish. Ochre? Ochre? An ochre-colored clay dish was with a black Minotaur painted on it. A set of clay dolls mounted on a single base, a round Minotaur holding a human's right hand, and a snake person holding the man's left. Almost a nativity with how wide they smile. And under it all is a sheet of parchment, aged but as intact as the day it was created. What's all this? Argos looks at the clay dolls as he rubs a forearm on his snotty nose. He says nothing until he moves closer and picks up the sheet of paper. This is a copy of the contract that gave birth to this very realm, or at least a fragment of it. The Labyrinth's constitution. Your contracts are powerful, my lord, but make no mistake, a human's will can never compare to that of the gods. You will find that no attempt at amending or revoking this document will bear fruit. It is superior to us all, and we are all bound to obey it. You will glimpse much of this labyrinth's inner workings by poring over it. He extends it to you. For a flash, his sorrow dies out. Only resolution remains. Argus gave you the labyrinth's constitution. You can read it in the contract section of the files menu. Thank you, Argus. I'll make good use of it. But of course you will. You are a wily one, Master. But what about you? What you'll do now that you won't be torturing a Styrian? Oh, Desert wind howls as the foreman's gaze shies away. What life could this wretched being have now? Would you mind answering a few of my questions? Your wish is my command, Master. Do you have any family? Is there someone waiting for you down in the depths of the valley? A village of snake people or a magical animal of sorts? Anyone you can talk to with? Oh, but of course. There's my pelt for starters. You mean the one you're wearing? Yes, what else? It's been handed down for generations of Argoi. It is our inheritance and our constant companion. And that's not all. You've seen the kind of creatures who roam this valley. The crawling, shrieking ladies, and all their family of coal-burned beings. Yes, but they don't talk, do they? It's not company. You just mentioned having generations before you. Do you have a father or a grandfather? I have pedigree, my lord, but not in that sense. I did not meet my predecessors, no. They toiled in their own time, and now I bear their mantle. So you've been alone here for... How old are you? Who raised you? I was no helpless infant, my lord. I raised myself as all servants ought to. And what a puzzling question that is. How old I am. How should I know? Do humans count and name each day and night? I would never bore myself with such a task. So you grew up alone, and you don't know how old you are. But that doesn't make sense. How do you know how to speak, or what you're supposed to do? You mentioned the Greek heroes and gods, but how do you even know who they are and what they did? His smile broadens, but his eyes remain half closed as if in caution. Can't you guess it yourself? I can't see any logical explanation, no. The labyrinth tells me, Master. Its minds have told me all I need to know. It has been a long time since I last spoke, but all I know comes from them. No, Argos. I've never heard of such a thing. This place is not one, but multiple minds? Just like any regular human. I don't think we do. Or perhaps, does my lord lack the competing wants and desires that so plague mankind? Do you not feel conflict, greed, and lust clashing with humility and chastity? Listen, having a set of wants at odds with each other is not the same thing as having multiple minds. That's a whole different thing. Hee. You have so much to learn. Do you perhaps think your mind alone is capable of commanding the realm to craft all that you may wish for? The labyrinth's minds hear your plea, read your instructions, and they do the dirty work of putting it all together. Say, have you tried creating life yet? A pet? A tree? Flowers, perhaps? I remember trying to make flowers, yes, but with no success. Of course not. You barely know of the full extent of your powers, and you've already signed them off to the hybrid. How about I teach you a trick? A little revelation of your personal enjoyment. The snake slithers away, taking off his pelt and draping it over one of the statues. An old man imposing eyebrows who wields a trident. Before proceeding, however, he collects a book from what seems to be an inner pocket sewn into the pelt's back. Think of life, Master. How about one of those tiny lions domesticated by humans? A cat. That's what you call them. Or perhaps bees, hornets, flies. Anything will do. It is no more difficult than creating diamonds in the palm of your hand. From around your feet, 1, 2, 3, cats crawl into existence. From your fingertips, little thoughts grow into a plethora of bugs. For a moment, you, Argos, and all life is suspended in a moment of grace. Then one of the cats shifted its gaze away from the horizon and towards the statue and pelt. Like a compressed coil, they all burst out and leap with sudden fury towards the foreman's discarded mantle. It lasts only a moment. Just as they were about to make contact with it, your mind springs into action as well as to command them all of existence. What just happened? You witnessed. This too is a labyrinth's nature. Any flora will attempt to do the same if given the chance. Which is why a master long ago put in place a contract to forbid animal and plant life from being summoned above the valley. Now you know why you cannot create life, and why the land above is lifeless, deathless desert. Oh, okay. This and much more have I been told about the labyrinth's immortal minds. Okay, wait. So, all of this green area and stuff will want to kill Asterion? You know, I'm happy we didn't send him out now. Thank you for showing this. I didn't know. Of course you didn't. The hybrid you keep above, he's full of seldom shared secrets. He's ashamed of all. His sentence, his crime, his punishment. You could never trust him to tell you all there is to know about this land and your powers. Which is why you need me, Master. It is a tragedy that the hybrid got his grubby hands on you first. Now you are tainted with that horrid armband. But perhaps I can yet salvage something for your potential. If you shall not be virtuous, Master, according to the virtues prescribed by the Olympians, you may at least be a skillful one, knowledgeable about your powers and wise in the way of contracts. So that is my offer, sire. Does it entice you? I don't like your tone. All that sounds more like you're trying to lead me on towards doing something regrettable. Usually I would, and it would be my pleasure. But I am not willing to risk your arm being amputated, and I have other duties aside from bringing grief to the hybrid, and assisting you is one of them. However, I do have one teensy little condition, my lord. My services will not be done for free. Of course not. Out with it, you wretched snake. 'Tis simple. You'll have to keep coming down here. My price is your time, my lord. You can expect to hear from me every few days. I guess that's an acceptable fee. Now tell me, is this all just a roundabout way of making me keep you company? Company? And why would I need that, dear master? I am a purebred Argos. I raised and defended myself from the dangers in this valley. I am a survivor. Did you hear something? Light and sound are washed away as it, whatever it is, approaches. Your instincts push you to flee to the hotel, but an unnatural rumble fills the air, a deep brass drilling paralysis into your bones and muscles. The snake himself reels back as though leaping out of the way, but the creature's presence petrifies him just as much as it does to you. Your eyes meet, and mortality is laid bare as thoughts rush forth between the two of you. I was sloppy. It'll end before. No. I can't die yet. Was that a possible death? Okay. The snake's eyes shift towards the hotel's entrance, and then to the statues around you. Muscle is drawn taut, strains, and then bursts as you and Argos leap out of the way, just as the thing drops its head to ram and gore its target. Just as you turn and run back to the hotel, you catch sight of Argos throwing something to the side before slithering away. The creature's hooves dig into the ground and bellows again, but it does not charge just yet. Only once have you crossed the hotel's threshold and turned around again do you hear the last hooves trampling the soil, a bellow, a hiss. The monster bucks before crashing its front legs down, onto Argos's pelt. And when you look upward, you find the snake coiled around the shoulders of a tall god wearing a winged cap and sandals. The monster bucks and stomps on the pedal again, then tries to dig at it with its horns. Argos opens his mouth, and as if to yell out a command before his voice rings out, you can already anticipate it. "You almost killed me, you wretched imbecile," he would say. "And that's my heirloom, a sacred object used in the god's worship." That's what one would expect from such the foreman. But the creature's bellowing drowns out his treacherous hiss. He is weak and powerless before the thing. We'll command it. "Away, you wretched thing! Begone!" The thing turns toward you, and then tilts its head left and right to get a good look at this mortal who commands it. It paws at the dirt as if preparing to charge, but then something shifts in its eyes. Thirst for violence gives way to bitter obedience. The creature looks up to the pelt, and one can hope, realizing the futility of its efforts, it turns around, and still looking back at you, disappears into the valley. You can come down now, Argos. The thing is gone. Are you okay? The snake offers no response, so you approach the statue and look up at him. Argos? It almost caught me. If I was just an inch to the left, it would have gored my eye out. Are you injured? No, but I feel lightheaded. Get down here. You might have some kind of reaction. I'll make you some water for you. Drink it. Why am I helping this guy? The foreman clings to the statue, even as he drops down from it, unlike a child trying to climb down a tree too tall. Dazed as he is, displays no concern for his self-image. He dips his snout right into the bowl of water you summoned and takes a shy, rhythmic gulps. His eyes are red. His cheeks are streaked with tears. Every dozen or so gulps, he stops to breathe, rub his dripping nose, and let out another sob. Sorry, I was besties. I don't like this. Getting attacked by a monster out to torture you? I don't want to kick you while you're down, but now you've had a taste of what a Styrian must have gone through. That's not the pelt. I have to find it. The foreman searches around the foot of the statue. There it lies, intact, albeit marred by a few hoof prints. I should go, before the Effigy comes back and put both of us at risk again. Good night, my lord. May your sleep be restful and your reign long. Without looking back at you, he slithers off into the night. During dinner, you remain quiet about what transpired below. No reason to burden the steering with Argos' shenanigans. You must be strong and bear the yoke yourself for your friend. Go on as with any normal night. How was your day, buddy? Oh. It was fine. It was a fine one. A guest approached me before checking out, and he said the sweetest thing. As soon as he laid his eyes on me, in the blink of an eye, he rushed up to me and said that if I ever visit Malta, he knows a great hotel. A friend of his works there, and could get me a great deal. He went as far as saying he could come and raise hell himself if anyone disrespected me there. What a nice sentiment. Indeed. The Minotaur supports his head with a hand on his chin while keeping his gaze fixed on you. This thing, this stream of humanity, is what I missed and wanted. And humanity missed you, whether it knows it or not. He lets out a drawn-out grumble as he adjusts his legs. You can catch the clop of his hooves. Thank you. Without you, I wouldn't have any of this. The tender moment cannot last, however. Nano arrives. This time, his feet don't even sound sticky, carrying your dishes. Asterion offers the Cobalt a nugget, a pyrite as a tip. You give him a handful of marbles. Just a week ago, he could burst into a sprint to hide his newfound treasure, in some hole outside. This one's sharp mind, however, has taken his etiquette lessons to heart. He gathers the loot in palm of his hand, then pours it into his pocket. He strides away, the graceful Cobalt, to continue with his job while you and Asterion enjoy the night. Godspeed, Nano. Coda insists he is ready to come back to work, but you are not so sure he's fully recovered. Okay. I think this is where we'll leave it. It's been a while. What is about 48 minutes? Something like that. I think I'll try to keep videos 48 minutes, but I'll continue reading and I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye. Or wait, no. Before the bye-bye, we'll talk about the video, because for some of you who may just be listening and not really... For my terrible reading skills, I will try to summarize the videos from now on. So what happened during today's video? How to say it? So basically, we got a new pool bar. I learned how to say daiquiri. Alright, but first, Asterion is having a trouble time working with his day because he was looking at the note that Clement left behind. And so, because of his, I guess, PTSD, I think it is. Okay, I lied. We're not going to end the chapter or episode or whatever you call this here. What should we do? Should we hang out with Coda, Asterion, Luke? Wait, can we even hang out with Coda? I guess not. Huh, I wonder why. Alright, I guess... I don't know, do we even get anything for managing assets? I don't think so. I'm gonna avoid Robert as much as I can. Or not Robert, Asterion. I don't know. He's not what I want. Well, I don't know, he's not interesting. Or like, to me, he's not. I mean, yeah, he's like very sad, but like... very depressing to hang around, honestly. But I guess that's the good part about him, because you have to take care of him, but like, I don't know. I'm tired of that. Man, I don't know. Okay, I guess it's between Robert and Asterion. Luke, I don't know if I can deal with, and I don't feel like making a voice for him. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Catch a tiger by the toe. If you let him holler, let him go. And we're gonna flip a coin. Heads or tails. Ready? 3, 2, 1, and it's heads. I feel like y'all would rather see Asterion though, but I do not care. Okay. Ever since Robert had arrived at the hotel, he had claimed one of the tables in the lounge as his own. He would spend hours there reading, seemingly paying no attention to the rest of the guests. In return, the others didn't bother him. They would throw curious glances at him, but not hold them for very long, not wanting to disturb the demon. One must wonder if he feels lonely. Seeing as the both of you are available, you elect to spend some time with him. There are a few questions eating away at you. Hi, Robert. Hello, Lucian. I hope you're having a pleasant afternoon. I am, yeah. And I hope I'm not being insensitive, but would you be okay with answering a few questions? Wow, do we just is this interviewing or is this like prying? What are we doing? We're prying into everyone's business now? I suppose it's only fair. Asterion... Oh my god. I thought there was like a mosquito in my ear and I was like pissed off for a second. I was like, no. I suppose it's only fair. Asterion did entertain my questions about his culture, so I should follow his example. Plus, I know how curious mortals are. I may not be able to answer everything, but ask away. For starters, I wanted to know a bit about where you're from. I assume it's Hell. Hell? Now that's more complicated than you may imagine. Pardon the pun, but afterlife affairs are nothing short of the labyrinth. I am from a hell. There are many, you see, and each one is different in its own way. There are the ancient ones, Sheol and Hades for instance, and many more which came to be over the ages. This includes what most would expect out of the current monotheistic belief systems. There is no single afterlife and no single hell. The one I belong to is a recent one, perhaps the youngest of hellish realms. It may surprise you, but it's only existed since the 1940s. Oh? I didn't expect that. At least, all that there'd be such a, let's say, a young hell? If you don't mind me asking, what's it like there? Wretched, as one would expect, but not in the predictable ways. You see, the hell I'm from is called Nuremberg, and our jurisdiction encompasses crimes off scale. The 20th century brought about unprecedented potential for harm, you see. Nowadays, hundreds of thousands of lives can be harmed irreversibly with a single click. The traditional afterlives were ill-equipped to deal with those matters. The chain of the cause and effect is too long. The attenuating circumstances are too important. And so Nuremberg was created to judge and house both the perpetrators of crimes of scale and their victims. If they were robbed of conditions that would grant them of salvation, that is. To put it bluntly, one can be so massacred by circumstances that they never stood a chance. The perpetrators toil so their victims may yet achieve salvation. A very unorthodox hell. If that's not enough to assuage your worries, you should know my role in Nuremberg is not unsightly. I am a prosecutor. I prosecute criminals of scale, by extension, defend the souls of those they harmed. Now, Lucian, do you still have questions? I do, but I don't want to bother. It's no bother. Please go ahead. Thank you. It's just that I'm curious about Hades in particular. Could you tell me more about it? Hades? As in the ancient underworld realm of Greek legend? What do you want to know about it? I'm generally fascinated by it, and I wonder what happened to it. Does it still exist? Oh yes, no doubt about that. An afterlife realm like that is very stable. Gods and divinity in general require worship. Many of the old gods have disappeared as a consequence of their dwindling followings. Which is why the afterlife realms are strong, you see. As long as their population worships their god, the realm remains sustainable. I'm not privy to any special knowledge about Hades, however. I know it exists, and it's doing well, and as always, none can escape from it. That said, since there are no more worshippers, I don't think new souls are accepted into it. The gates are closed long ago. Unless you are friends with the Charon, that is. Afterwards, Robert tells you about the books he's been reading, and then you go on with your day. No one's here. Okay. It's just, wait, why is no one working at hold up. You know, flip it. I am not reading that again. You know, I could read that. Oh, okay. Sometimes one may be taken by wanderlust, eyes driven mad to witness beautiful things. When the halls and corridors grew silent and the bedrooms quieter still, you and your roommate slipped out. The air within the hotel had a velvety quality to it, all sounds muffled, even one's breathing. Asterian's hooves sliding on the floor instead of crashing down barely made any noise. With half the lights turned off, the two of you have dove into and out of the darkness. After every handful of footsteps, your arms bumped together as Asterian's lumbering gait swayed left and right. At last, out you go into the night. A razor-sharp breeze blows in as soon as you open the door, making every inch of your skin feel more alive than ever before. Asterian walks ahead to shield you from the cold. Now that none may be bothered, Asterian speaks. The usual pleasantries to loosen one's tongue give way to skittering thoughts and topics. The new guests, of course, but also a few words about the more peculiar among the ones who came before. Asterian wonders how Greta and Ishmael must be doing. The two of you walk to Luke's makeshift observatory, still standing from the other night. You light one of the red lamps, and that is enough. Under its gaze, you and Asterian sit down and get comfortable to enjoy the night of stargazing. This time the Minotaur did not think to bring his lyre. Perhaps your company and your humming in unison suffices. The air thickens as Asterian tries and fails to hold in a giggle. The corner of his mouth curl upward as he pulls a notebook from his pocket. I took the note of a few more poems today as you told me to. Can I take a look? Of course. I just hope they don't bore you. And I hope you aren't writing these down just because I said so. Me? Following your orders. Forgive me, sir. But for a moment, I believe we were meant to be equals. So thoroughly equal that you now dare give me sass. My hands may struggle to learn new tricks, but my mind still has a few blessings yet. Good. You'll need that quick thinking to keep up with the 21st century. Now, may I see your poems? Here. Asterian shared nostalgia poems with you. Go ahead and read them in the mementos section of the files menu. I will do that later. Even with the hotel's translation, you notice how rough Asterian's handwriting is. But some could argue there's a charm to it. A grown Minotaur whose finely woven poems, at a glance, look as though written by a middle schooler. There's love in each shakily written letter, all of them pulled from the Minotaur's centuries-old mind. And to think that just a few weeks ago, you found him in the cold room. Hundreds, thousands of human poets have written of time, and how to get its march brings only grief. But how many, we wonder, spoke of how sweetly it heals all wounds. You seem to be doing better with each passing day, buddy. Do I? No doubt about it. It's like you become a whole new person with every week I've been here. The Minotaur scratches his own ears, then lowers his muzzle. Thank you, my Lucian. When my days are filled as they've been, well, no opportunity presents itself to mope. I have to make myself useful. I can appreciate how high your spirits are, but, and forgive me if it sounds pedantic, I'm not sure if I'd say you mope. Pardon? Moping gives the impression that you're overreacting, or that your issues might not be important enough to warrant such a reaction. In other words, as pleasant it is to see you happy, there's no issue with taking some time to figure out how you feel. Asterion crossed his arms, a breeze cutting across his back, making his fur stand on end. Sorry if it makes you uncomfortable, but when we got out the letter a few nights ago, well, I was worried about you. Do you want to talk about it? My thoughts confuse me, Lucian. I know not what to believe or say. If you want to hear me, I fear what I could tell you will bore you. It is nothing worthwhile. Don't say that about yourself. You're my friend, Asterion. What you feel and think means a lot to me. You are blessed with such kindness, Lucian, and you are my friend too. I, or perhaps we, are blessed to have you in my life. Thank you, Asterion. In that case, would you trust me with knowing what's going on in that big old heart of yours? How have you been feeling since we've received that letter? Am I even allowed to feel? What? Please do not take this as I am not implying you would forbid me, far from it. It's my sentence, Lucian. The Olympians themselves determined that I deserve this fate. To have someone like you is a blessing, but it is not what I was meant to experience. What Clement did was only to bring it all back to what this realm was supposed to accomplish, how things were meant to be. Am I allowed to be angry at him, when the gods themselves said I deserve what is his mandate wrought? You draw a breath and gather your thoughts, but the Minotaur does not give you a chance. He goes on as if the thread formed ahead of him. When I get distracted while tending to the hearth or Lord Hades' statue, I remember the cold room and catch myself having a troublesome thoughts. Like a calf kicking inside my chest, or an arrow through my brain, I cannot help but hunch over and squeeze myself until it dies down, if it dies down. I barely notice it begin. A paralysis runs from my tongue to my stomach, and in the span of a breath, full minutes pass, and in a blind terror. At times, it is humiliating. I never felt such things towards the masters who tortured me. I took it all as it was well deserved. But through all the years I spent locked up, I felt sorrow gnawing at my chest and a lead weight dropping in my head. I thought of all guests, all my friends, what must have happened to them. This sorrow and pain, I am well acquainted with them, but this thing stampeding inside my chest is new, and it frightened me so. That's what I've been feeling, scattered thoughts. Your sweet, kind-hearted man, crosser of deserts, hair of duties most unsightly, lord of hosts and guests, self-shackling king. Go on, do as your humanity compels you. Could it be that you're angry? No, master, I was never one to let wrath take over. Not in my life, much as less in death. Have you been stopping yourself from feeling it? No, it is only... What reason could I have to feel so? Isn't it obvious? People and the gods did terrible things to you. Anyone in your place would feel wronged. But I was not wronged. In fact, they were righting me. The gods, after all. No. You do not deserve any of the things that you've been through. I asked you about your emotions tonight. It means a lot that you're telling me so much. But I cannot let you believe these things about yourself. You are great, loving, and always kind soul. Look at the hotel. So many people have found a place of belonging thanks to you. The hotel. It's good, isn't it? Aren't you proud of it? It's my pride and joy, Lucian. And it's yours. And you are the soul of it all. No matter how many times you call me master, it can't hide the fact that this is your creation. You're amazing, Asterion. No matter what the gods said, this is real, more than any other sentence could ever be. The Minotaur looks down at his own hands. Darkness shields his eyes from you. He swallows it, It is labored, audible, a struggle against his own body. He opens his mouth to speak, but all he musters is a breath through his gritted teeth. You'll make me cry. He hunches over, hoping and praying that some shed of the minute of the hotel's velvety silence will smother his whimpering, but nothing can contain a sobbing so old and deserved. Evening, you gather back all the daunting day has torn asunder. You gather the man, you gather the bull, you gather the friend unto himself. As you unfold him in your arms, you bring all the pieces together, one by one. They are fitted and mended. Not all cracks are sealed, but those that have become melded with gold to weave a beautiful meandering network. You squeeze him harder until his arms, hanging limp from his shoulders, are consumed by a want too ancient to ignore. His fingers curl, grazing your leg, and that spark is enough to push the Minotaur to hug you back. He sobs, groans, coughs. You place your forehead upon his, framed by his horns, and let him pour out all the chest-shaking sorrow onto you. The night alone bears witness to these two souls. The world will never know. But this is a true legend of the Minotaur and his 1,000 fat labyrinths. And this one, what a marvelous hotel you two have built, but how insignificant too. Merely a tool to achieve his human thing you've shown us. Can you blame the Minotaur then for not wanting to let go? He holds on to you for as long as his chest heaves, and when the time comes, his rough-knuckled fingers refuse to abandon your short. Whatever. And should one reprimand him for remaining closed afterwards, shoulder touching yours, sharing that bit of warmth. You reach out and lay an arm over his shoulders, alone and watched. The two of you huddle together. You let time pass as much as the friend requires. Lucien, the kind, a coward, warm, a cowherd warm, a sturdy man, and more, the gentlest master this desert realm has ever seen. Asterion the Great, the finest host in all of mankind's history. A soft groan, the Minotaur ponders. Why does this man extend such kindness to me? This time, however, he quiets down doubt, and only almost flinches at the compliment. Perhaps it is not his place to know, or perhaps he refuses to look at a gift horse in the mouth. Whatever may be the truth, what convinces him that is a dream? He closes his eyes. There in the starlit darkness he can enjoy the fantasy, as possible as it might be, of what may beat inside the man's heart. Wake up, lad. We have a hotel to find. That's where I'll leave it off. Hi, everyone. I may sound a bit tired because it is a bit late. I just got done with volleyball practice, so yeah. Hold up. This is supposed to be a little recap before the day's end. So this video, what do we do? This video, we weren't able to talk to Coda since he needed a break. Probably because of all the hard stuff we've been talking about, like with his lost brother. Or lover, whatever you say. And I can't breathe, so sorry. I did not want to hang out with Asterion today, but we kinda did. I don't know, he's very depressing. Or like, I can deal with it, but I don't know. I don't really like depressing books much. Like, I'm here to like get out and fantasize, I guess. What else did we do? We got a poolside bar. I learned to say daiquiri instead of daiquiri. And what else happened? Luke tried a new drink, the daiquiri instead of the beer. Beers suck. Never try beers, guys. Don't ever drink it. If you do, I'm not gonna judge you, but I think they suck. What else happened? Hold up. It's coming back to me. It's coming back. My mind is frozen because of volleyball. Very extremely tired. It's like 11 p.m. right now. Kind of late for me on a school night, or like college night. What else happened? We talked to Themba about assets. Honestly, I was half listening to him. Or half reading, half listening to whatever I was reading, but yeah. Themba, poolside bar. Okay, I guess we'll talk about Asterion then. I think Asterion needs to be more of himself instead of like thinking about how to appease his master, even though that's his whole job and everything. Like, I think he should get to the point that like he knows that we're not like the other masters. We're like more of a friend than a master. I hope he does learn that. Or it's just so solidified in his mind that like he can't think of that. I hope he gets better. Like, we're more friends than master and servant. But it's okay. What else happened? Oh, we had Argos. Argos, that annoying little wretched snake worm. Ugh. Blech, disgusting little thing. You know, I find it so, like, I gotta, like, squeeze my throat to say some words for him, but, like, even though it doesn't sound like I'm trying much, it does hurt when I say that, or do his voice for, like, 30 minutes. But, oh no. Or maybe I'm just doing everything wrong if it doesn't sound like a voice. What else is happening? We found out that Asterion, that any animal that we create, or plant life that we create, will attack Asterion. And that Asterion is also hiding, like, abilities of ours that we can have from us. Maybe because he has forgotten, but I doubt he would forget, since he's more of like a servant of the realm or whatever. So he's just keeping it from us on purpose. Besides that, I think Asterion should learn to, like, I guess, we won't hurt him, but it would be nice if we knew, just in case, like, something happened, because what if I just, like, made a hulking giant animal and I'm like, wow. Because I bet I could just, like, write something like that and put it in the bedrock of the lab. I'm sorry. Poltergeists are in my bedroom right now. My book fell. I don't know why, but yeah. Besides that, I think it's a good night for all of you. I will see you all later. Or if it's morning, day, night, or midday, have a good rest of your day or a good night. I will see you later. Bye.